with pointed steeples and medieval city walls. Under the watchful eyes of the commander of the fleet, the man who supplied him with the meticulous notes to populate the blank space, he inscribed the unfamiliar syllables of their names: Agra, Lahore. Regions equally strange and unknown surrounded them: Kabul and Multan to the north, Bengala to the east, Deccan in the south. Empty expanses dotted with mountains and towns. Baffin had little knowledge of such places. He was not particularly interested in them anyway, so sometimes he made mistakes. Towns skipped across rivers and ended up on the wrong side as a result. Mountain ranges slid up and down the page, and provinces and kingdoms duplicated themselves. However, as a pilot himself, he understood the importance of coastlines, and soon the sea-bound edges of the landmass bristled with place names, each marked by a steepled tower and a square, signifying habitation and trade. If he had hoped that he could refer to older maps to polish his own creation when he reached dry land, he would have been disappointed. The English, at least, possessed no other map with more details than the one he was sketching. And the Portuguese and the Dutch, if they had any better, certainly were not going to share theirs with their competitors. When he returned home in a few months, his charts of the Red Sea and the Persian coastlines earned him a gratuity from his employers, the merchants of London. The other map, though, was destined for a bigger market from the beginning. It was copied by the foremost engraver in England at the time and printed almost immediately, the first of many imprints. The outlines of this map, printed in 1619, mark the formal beginnings of Britain's long entangled history with India. It is named not after the map maker, but after the person who gathered much of the information in the first place, Sir Thomas Roe, the first English ambassador to the Mughal court. When Roe arrived in India, the English barely had a toehold in the country. Their own understanding of the realities of South Asian trade and the Mughal Empire were sketchy at best. To the Mughals, they were hardly worth a mention. Roe was an ambassador on the back foot. He was away from England for just under 5 years, from February 1615 to September 1619. In practical terms, his embassy achieved very little. Touchy, deeply uncertain about his position both at the Mughal court and among the English merchants of the East India Company, or EIC, whose cause he was supposed to further, he repeatedly insisted, as much to the East India Company as to the Mughal state, that war and traffic, or trade, were incompatible, and that a sleek, agile commercial enterprise, rather than a sprawling colonial initiative on the Portuguese model, was the best route to English success in India. In Sir Thomas Roe's map, which Baffin created on Roe's journey home, a frame identifies the entire landmass as the Empire of the Great Mughal, ignoring the many other states and principalities scattered across the subcontinent. A copy of the Mughal imperial seal occupies the place of honor at the top. Neither of those leaves any doubt about the comparative distribution of power. Yet, at the same time, there is a prescient textual land grab by various English claimants in progress at the bottom of the page. Stretched across the lower part of the frame of the map are tiny, carefully etched advertisements of the contribution of Roe himself, the mapmaker William Baffin, engraver Reynold Elstrack, and globe maker and bookseller Thomas Stern. They all contend for space and recognition. Over the next century, even as the British Empire took shape, India.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.